what we've got is a 5/8 slot, and of course this will be the top of the tool holder. We've got a 5/8 slot. We're 7/16 inch deep, and now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our arc for our radius here. And what I'll do is I'll get out the boring head, we'll get it set about to where it needs to be, then we'll go back and we'll center up on the over our tool block here, and then we'll go ahead and just bore that down, you know, in a couple of settings. I think we've got lots of clearance here and everything. We'll get her set up and see how it looks. But we've got a 1/2 inch wiggler here, or edge finder, and what we're going to do is just pick up on one edge, and I'm sure we all know, but what you do with these edge finders is just run them up into your machine or up into your part, and they'll center themselves, and when they kick, that's your edge. There we are. Okay. So there's one edge of our 0. Go ahead and pick up the other side, see what it tells us. $1975. $1975. And our center will be 0.9875, which is right there. We can zero it there. Now what we'll do is we'll just set up our arc to where we're very close, and there again, it's not that essential that we be perfect. But what we'll do is go ahead and set the size of our arc. It's a little bit big actually. Set the size of our arc, then we'll go ahead and we'll sneak up on it from this side and just work out. Once we've got the radius, we'll go out to our position, and that'll be all we need to do. That looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this down. The way this cutter's set up, we'll run the mill in reverse. That looks pretty good. Just see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Well, that looks like we're pretty happy right there. I'm not going to change a thing on that. Yeah, that looks really good. Let's go ahead and pull it out here and take a look. Now that's all the machining we're going to do on this face. Next thing we will do is we'll go ahead and deburr this, then we'll flip it upright, go ahead and lay out and install our 2 holes. Those are, I believe there's 3/8 lock screws. But let's get this out, take a look at it. Okay, well, we'll take it over and deburr it. But there's our cut in the bottom. Well, here's our tool post with the arc cut out of it. Now I changed my mind a little bit. I was going to take one of the standard rockers that I built for the other tool post, and I was going to build one exactly like it. I'm not going to. I'm going to build a little bit shorter one just to fit in this. All it is the adjustment for the little bit of angle that we can get on the tool post when we feed it back through there. This is a custom block anyway, so we'll just build a small rocker just to match it. So anyway, looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to go ahead, mark out for the top. We'll put some die chem on there, and drill and tap those 2 holes, and then we'll set it up and start machining off the back side of it. Elevation wise, I matched it up to the regular tool post, or the 4-way tool post. Matches up real well. I'm real happy with it. So yeah, now we're down to the only thing left is to build the rocker, drill and tap our 2 holes, and then everything else is cosmetic. We've got it pretty well formed up. We've radiused the edges. I actually would have liked this to be a little bit more radiused on the back sides and everything. And if I have to, it's not going to be that big a deal to go back and do it. But at some point in time, you got to say enough's enough and just go ahead, finish up a project and move on, or finish up a part and move on to something else, because this is all just aesthetics. I think I've already had it set up in the lathe, or set up on the lathe in position. I think we've got lots of clearance here for our tailstock turret to pass in between and everything. So this is what we've got here. We've got our cutouts. There's the rocker we built for it. And this rocker is a little bit smaller than the standard Atlas rockers for the rest of them, but we'll set it in there. It'll work fine. This is one of the rockers that I built for the other 4-way tool post. So this one's a little bit shorter. I may narrow that one up a little bit more. It's got a little more material there than it needs, but that looks fine. We'll put the same 3/8 hex head screws in, or square headed screws that we've got in the standard tool post, so that the tooling to adjust that's all the same. We've turned us a stud to hold our tool post in, and it sets in, goes up through. I've still got to turn the nut for the top. We'll probably build a little bit thicker than the standard nut to go on top. And now I think we're going to take it over and sandblast it off. We'll powder coat it, this part of it, our standard gray. And then once that's done, why, we'll show it to you in position. But this one's just about done. Well, here's a little picture of the tool post set in place. We've already run it like this a little bit, so it's still going to need a little bit more work. I still haven't built the proper nut for on top to hold it down. I'm going to thin out the rocker on the bottom a little bit, but it works well the way it is. We've already run that first run of production parts off of it. Hopefully you found something interesting here with this little video. If you did and you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button. If you hit the bell notification, you'll know when I put out a new video. And any comments, suggestions, or your thoughts, just leave them in the comment section for me below. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.